Well, Charles Woodson, it was obvious that Aaron Rodgers thought the same thing as you did, that this was the year. He thought that this was the year, this was the team, this was the moment, and then it didn't happen. And then the moment where the game could be in his hands to save, the coach says, let's kick a field goal. And then his post-game comments were quite emotional. I'll put you on the spot. You're used to it anyway. What do you think's going on in Aaron's mind? What do you think is happening between those very famous temples of his with his future, Charles?
Well, I think there's, two things at play. I think there's the emotion of the game, coming off of an NFC championship game. This is the game before the Super Bowl. You feel good, you lose, you feel like you're going to win it. And then all of a sudden, it ends the way that it did. So, the emotions are running high. And, he's noticed, of course, he's obviously pissed off, about the outcome. And then I think, of course, his mind's swirling around the fact that, they did take a quarterback, in the first round. And, he's 30, I think 36, 35 years old or whatever he is. And so at the end of your career, no matter who you are, you do start thinking about the end, whether you're playing for your same team and retire or you're, released or traded to another team. Those are realistic things that are going through his mind. So I'm sure at that time, with all of the emotions swirling around the game, and then also going back to the fact that they, drafted a quarterback in the first round, all of his emotions got intertwined at once. And so that's kind of what came out of his mouth. But for me, there's no way that I see him, playing at least next year. He's not going to be playing anywhere else next year other than Green Bay. But I think in his mind, he does see that, look, I got, probably 4 or 5 more years. Who knows what they're going to do, with the immediate future of this team. But I just don't see him going anywhere next year at all.
The way I sussed it out is just like you, Charles, that it was emotional, like anybody who's listening to this conversation right now. Imagine you put your heart and soul in your job, and then your boss says at the very biggest moment, we're gonna let another employee handle this at the moment and hope you have another shot, right? And then you get put in front of a nationally televised press conference. That, emotions are raw, but the fact that he brought it up in the way that he did after the season in which he had an MVP campaign, saying, that he was at peace with everything, made it seem like he really wasn't at peace about all this. And that 2021, clearly Mark Murphy has come out and said, we'd be stupid. And Brian Gutekunst said today that Rodgers, they have many more years of success with him, but it's still there, man. I mean, there's no doubt that it is still there. Do you think he's going to finish his career in Green Bay, Charles Woodson?
Well, I kind of see him, along the same lines as, Tom Brady. I think these guys think that they could play forever.
Yep.
Brady's proven that you can play at 43, be successful, make it to a Super Bowl. I think Rodgers is probably in that same realm as far as, saying, hey, I can play at least, 6 more years, So in that sense, if his career does extend that long, he'll be playing for somebody else by the end of that. But in the immediate, next, couple, 2, 3 years, they're going to give him some more money somehow, to keep him happy. And they're going to try to, do some things as far as, the franchise, maybe involve him a little more as far as, who they're bringing in, who they're looking at, and kind of give him, some say-so as far as, who's on that team and who they're looking at free agent-wise, to make him happy because, look, he's the best man for the job in Green Bay. There's no question about that. If he was to be gone, let's say if he was to be gone next year, Green Bay, Wisconsin, and, Packer fans around the whole world would you want to talk about, a fan base that would not be going for it, not be happy about something. You let that happen, So I think he'll be there for the foreseeable future. But if his career extends as long as I'm sure he wants to, then he'll be playing for somebody else.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.